Skull, 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 skull. Follow the bear. You had your ready, Breck. You like a lot of chocolate. Thank you, Alderson. Okay. Is that the one that had the gold oil just dripping down?
It was a genius advert. I like that.
Sexual.
That has, well, I wouldn't go that far.
No, just leave it. You'll do upset me. Funnily enough, most of our houses have got rabbits in now. Side drawer. La. Pick up a mandarin.
Well, they're just little different kinds of oranges, aren't they?
I'll get it. Go on, let's get pissed.
It's time to adjust those shoulder pads, backcomb what's left of your hair, and jump into the DeLorean for a look back at what's possibly the best decade anyone could ever have grown up in.
Shall we play a game?
This is Bring Back the 80s with your hosts James Alderson and me, Andy Jackson.
Welcome to edition 10 of the Bring Back the 80s podcast.
Oh, gotcha, fancy set week of D. Yeah, I thought
there we go, D.
And then I was thinking it can't be Deece. That doesn't sound right.
Deece is where we are.
Oh, we haven't got any headphones on. Is this going to work?
We haven't got a big microphone in front of us. Hopefully you can hear us.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can see us.
If you can't hear us or see us,
let us know. Send us a text and send us a fax.
If you can't hear or see us, please tell us. I don't know how that is.
Send us a page. Send a message to our pager.
Yeah.
And a message to our, we'll get the page. Then we'll drive around, find a phone box, phone you back, and then that way we'll know that you can't.
That's like a chain letter. We'll do a chain letter, like we said in the last episode. No, we're here. This is our new home, which is thanks to you, wonderful buggers, for tuning in and watching in your dozens.
Literally dozens
and dozens of people.
Can we just blow our own trumpet a bit, because we're well over 100,000 views on YouTube now, so
by the time people watch this it'll be
102.
I'm getting on for it'll be nearly 200,000 in a couple of weeks time. It'll be nearly 200. We'll go just about to edge over 150,000 views on YouTube, and that's not even including all the other bits that people watch it on.
We've got so many other bits. We've got the TikTok, we've got the Twitter, which is now called X, we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got the whole lot of however you're watching, however you're listening. As we always say, just share this with one person who's got a similar sense of humour to you, and that will help us bring... Basically, James's wife has said, get this crap out of my house, and James has had to start a whole podcast just to get rid of his 80s memorabilia.
It's very true, and I'm so hopefully enjoying it. And I will say, we're only going to talk about this for this episode, by the way, but if there are things that you don't think that are included in our displays here, we'll move them around a bit, and it's highly likely that I've got them. So I'm up for the challenge. Iconic 80s items. So we've got the piggies, and we've got the mobile phone, we've got the Spectrum, we've got the Soda Stream, bottle of Corona, Quality Streaks, joystick, Walkman, all the classics.
I can't help there's no Barbie or Cindy in here though, James.
I didn't have any. When I was younger, I had an Action Man, which is somewhere buried in my garage. But yeah, maybe we need a Barbie in a little box, bless her. But yeah, let us know.
Let us know. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
We're going to start off with revealing last time's mystery sound. The person who's won it their name will come up in lights at the end of this edition. I would say their name as well, just in case you're listening, not watching.
It's very tricky to hear something that you see.
It is, isn't it? Oh, see which you see.
I think I just had a stroke saying that. What's going
Anyway, this is the mystery sound from last week. Here it comes.
It's the mystery sound of the 80s. It's the mystery sound of the 80s.
So that was it. That was it.
We all had it.
Yes. So if you know what that was, it was
a ruler.
A ruler on the edge of the desk.
I mean, you could try it with wooden ones, but the Helix plastic ones were the key, weren't they?
Yeah.
To be able to just boing, and you slid it up the desk to make the sound go slightly higher pitch as you went. It was just a lot. What pathetic.
Always when the teacher's back was turned as well.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So the new mystery sound is this. So that has featured in a previous episode.
Right. Oh, okay.
That has featured in a previous episode. So if you've gone back in time,
watch them all.
We've all, I think girls would have played with these as well as boys. I think so.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
You played with them all. And sometimes you'd go around other people's houses and they'd have stuff you didn't have. So you would then dive in. It was like a, novelty, wasn't it? So yeah, definitely. Especially, obviously I went around loads of girls' houses when I was a kid, not now. Anyway, good. What's the episode about today, Andy?
So the episode today is all about adverts from the 80s.
Yes.
And specifically, TV adverts.
Yeah, why not?
TV adverts.
Yeah, and they did transcend across into cinema and radio stuff. And that's the one thing I think from the 80s is adverts were quite consistent. Brands built their adverts up, didn't they? So you'd see something like Nescafe where they had was it Gold Blend with the romantic cup?
Yeah.
And it was a story and it built, or you'd have the Weetabix kids, Weetabix, what were they called? I don't know. But they were always in it for years. Now, there's a random advert and then it'll do something else and there'll be something else.
It's because we've all got such tiny attention spans.
I haven't.
Teeny tiny attention span. I think they reckon that people can only concentrate on one thing now for about 30 seconds. So for the last 5.5 minutes that we've been doing this podcast,
Miracle.
Gone.
Oh, I was going to talk about my attention. It's a miracle I'm still sat here listening. Okay. Yeah. So, the adverts were crafted, I think the only adverts these days that are consistent, you got the O2 one, with what Susie's going to... Sean Bean, who does O2, he's been consistent. And what else have we got? I think that's pretty much it. They don't carry on for years and years in the same.
Because there was that coffee advert, the Nescafe one with the Gold Blend one, and that just went on for ages. But I'm just going to give you like a random selection. Some of these will have an ongoing story. So, as we've already seen.
Is there one coming up?
We've secretly previewed that one. This is all new to us.
It is. This whole place is new.
But here comes the first one.
Susie's gonna sing about a different kind of chocolatey biscuit.
Trio!
Too loud.
Trio!
I said that was too
I
loud.
want a trio and I want one now.
Yeah, well, we all do, man, but listen.
Not one, not two, but 3 things in it.
I said-
A chocolatey biscuit and a toffee taste too.
Listen, could you just cool
And
it?
not one.
No 3 things are quite as good together as a trio.
No, they're not.
Brilliant.
Bananarama, they were quite good. Trio. Were they a trio?
They were, yeah.
But that was the voice, I think, of the guy who did Play School or Play.
No, I think it was the Radio 1 DJ who used to do the new wave show, and his name will come back to me in a second, and it will come back to me. He used to do like it was okay. It could be. I mean, you tell us who it was. Then
we know.
We're stumped.
We know. We're
stumped.
doing this to reel you in.
Yeah, it's not Dave Lee Travis. I'm not thinking Dave Lee Travis.
No, it's not Steve Wright.
It's not Graham Dean. It's none of those.
Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, no, so adverts were great. But the thing that would surprise kids these days is that they could advertise anything.
Oh, my God, yes.
You could have cigarettes, booze. I mean, the Formula One cars were covered in cigarette ads.
Yes.
You got the John Player Special, Castlemaine 4X. Australians wouldn't give a Castlemaine 4X for anything else. Is that right? A South African accent, that one. I don't know what that was. But, the ad, they were cigarettes and
Cigars. Cigars. Yeah.
Just would out on TV all the time. I think they might have limited it so you can't watch it during kids' TV on a Saturday morning. They did stop that, I think. But any other time, just all over the place.
They were trying to get kids in early to smoke because that's obviously what the big tobacco companies were all about.
Marlboro, yeah.
Now they're all into getting them vaping as quick as possible.
Yeah, but there's no TV adverts about it.
No.
You see, that's where you're going wrong, vapors. Skulls. It was just, Hofmeister, Follow the Bear. I mean, that advert went on, that was years, with a bear walking through the pub and then the lads would follow him and he was a geezer. Go on, let's get pissed. Great advertising, wasn't it? Let's go and trash someplace. But yeah, it's just commonplace now, and that makes you wonder what they actually fill our adverts with these days.
I think what you have to remember as well is that there was only one channel with the adverts on, ITV. Then Channel 4 came along running adverts as well. But we all saw, I think now, we're on the internet and everything, everybody gets targeted adverts. So you obviously will get loads of adverts for 80s crap.
Yeah.
I'll get loads of adverts for radio stuff.
Yep.
And that kind of thing. But in those days, back in the 80s,
Right.
you couldn't target different things. So we all saw
Everything, yeah.
all the same adverts.
Yeah, and the one channel that you had until Channel 4 came along, BBC One, BBC Two, when they had to fill their airways with something, they just put this on. There was no adverts. They just put that up.
For hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, mainly when we came with summer holidays, you sat at home and just thought, put something on.
Yeah.
No, this is on for an hour. And you didn't know when the TV was going to come back on.
No idea.
It would just start again and think, oh, good, but you just have to sit there and stare at it.
There was only one thing worse, because at least during the school holidays, they would make a little bit of an effort to give you something to watch.
Yeah.
But if you had a sick day and you had to be, your mum phoned you in sick
Yeah.
to school and you were home alone,
Yeah.
all you had to do was watch, I think there was Crown Court was on TV.
Pebble Mill at one.
Pebble Mill at one, which is just, as a child, the worst of the worst of the worst. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was all just bland TV. But that's maybe why we love the adverts so much, because the adverts were actually alive, you know?
Shall we have another advert?
Go on.
Let's do another random ad break here, see which one's going to come up.
We want blue stripes, we want white, we want the red stripes, but that's all right. As you can see, Aquafresh has all three. Aquafresh is for the family.
The red stripe helps fight plaque and protects gums. The white stripe has fluoride to fight decay. And there's a blue stripe for fresh breath. So Aquafresh gives 3-in-1 protection for your family.
Brush, brush, red stripe, blue stripe, white. Brush, brush, gurgle, gurgle, it's just right. Aquafresh has to be the only one with all three. 3-in-1 protection for your family.
What a load of bollocks. That's the red, white and blue.
Yeah, but it's all
white
about
family.
getting you into
Get them in there to clean their teeth. Bit of colouring on the paste to make everybody think that the red is doing one job, the white's doing the job, and the blue's doing... It's all just colouring. Just chuck it on your teeth.
But in those days, you could kind of say anything you wanted to in the ads, couldn't you? And there was no system for checking that the claims people were making really were valid.
Do you remember that advert where they glued the guy to the big board and swung him through on a helicopter?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had to demonstrate that it was possible because the advertising authority had come in at that point and they were like, we make sure that this is actually possible.
I do. That's one of those ones that sticks in your mind. Is it? Was it? That was completely unintentional.
Oh yeah, you're
but it was. Was it glue? Super glue or something. Yeah.
Super glue. I forget what the brand was. Shows that the advert was rubbish. But no, it's just like you say, that you'd never get away with that now. For a start, that family is not blended enough. But for secondly, the red and the blue and the white doesn't do different jobs. The paste is the paste.
It is just colour. But, I like the idea of the whole family cleaning their teeth together.
And don't you do that?
I
do that. My teenage boys, my wife and I, we all dance in our pajamas and we all start brushing. And sometimes you run out of red. And that's why your teeth are falling out. It's the red and keep your teeth in.
You run out of blue, that's why your breath stinks so much.
Yeah, I'm sleeping downstairs. Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, it's so... That wasn't advertised at kids, but it was very much the Snowman. What was this?
Oh, the Raymond Brown.
Yeah, animation. And it was... But it was, just such innocent adverts. None of this sort of underhand, sneaky, subliminal messaging hitting you. This is it. Happy family. They've all got the teeth. They're all white. It's red, white, and blue. What's racist about that?
There was no different cultures on TV.
No,
at all. You would never. It would only be families like that.
Yeah,
that you would see.
Yeah, with red, white, and blue at every opportunity. The adverts were just always seem to have jingles as well. Always seems to have something that you could sing along to that get in your head.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything these days that has a jingle that's really keeps me singing it when I'm walking around the house or something. Everybody who comes to my tour show, 6 of them might be watching now, know that I do a bit about jingles. It's just, you can't avoid it. If you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, join our club. Just me singing that. But even here, I don't know if it's even possible people can see it. They got the Robin Beck first time Coca-Cola. It's a Coca-Cola. It's a single. That was a single, and it came out because the advert was so successful.
Oh yeah,
they released the single roughly the same time. Same with what's his face? What was that laundrette one?
Oh, Nick Heyman.
Yeah. Sadly passed recently, unfortunately. But yeah,
that one.
I mean,
that was Diet Coke break time as well, wasn't it? That was the one. Yeah.
That was probably early 90s, I'm guessing. But Nick Heyman. I've done that in laundrettes before and not got that response.
He didn't have a change of clothes, did he? So just to recreate the story, obviously he needed to wash his clothes. He didn't have a spare set at home. He didn't have a washing machine.
No.
So he goes into the laundrette, takes his kit off. Yeah. And
white boxes, there they are.
There we go.
Yes. And now I'm banned from every laundrette. I've tried it and I've tried it. But yes, again, iconic advert, and the track was then sold as a single and did brilliantly, as did First Time with that Coca-Cola advert. Just iconic.
It is the big brands that had the big jingles as well. Let's do another little commercial break here and see which random one is in some next.
I recommend the porridge, the halibut is nice, you can say without any reply. But show 'em Kellogg's Bran Flakes, that's a different matter, they'll all reply. They're tasty, very, very tasty, they're very tasty. Would you care for yoghurt? The green flakes are nice, the continental breakfast ain't bad. But show 'em Kellogg's Bran Flakes, that's a different matter, they'll all reply. They're tasty, very, very tasty.
Kellogg's Bran Flakes. You know, this could catch on.
It did catch on.
Didn't that have motif from... this is what I'm going.
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, it looked.
It was in. Yeah, I think it was.
You think?
I think it was.
Oh, I mean, it definitely had the look.
Yeah.
The waistcoat. And the tat.
I reckon it was him.
But you do that with anyone over 40. If you start singing that to yourself, they're tasty. They'll just do it.
Yeah.
And then it's in your head. Just genius. Just to be able to get a jingle that people would sing around the office. Did it work? Did it make you buy the product? Probably.
Well, we're still talking about it all this time over. And by the way, suddenly for everybody watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, not only will that be in your head for the whole rest of the day, you will be having Bran Flakes and breakfast tomorrow.
You'll just find yourself walking around Tesco thinking, I'm going to get some Bran Flakes or Crunchy Nut or whatever it might have been. So the one of my favourite ones, even as a child, was the Moulinex adverts. I don't know why they were everywhere, but there we go. Moulinex makes things simple, and that includes the price. And I just think, what a beautiful little song. And I'd be about 11 just singing that. Now I've still got it now. We've got the little Moulinex.
Oh, this was the carving knife, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See, this was such a good idea because everybody had a Sunday roast, didn't they? And obviously, it's too much effort to actually carve.
Move your arm back and forward.
So this, was it cordless or was it? Because there's no sign of the wires, but I have a feeling.
I think that might have had a cord.
That would have had a cord on it.
Yeah. And you famously, there you go.
Hey, look at it.
Sneaky photography bastards. Look at that. I said it in the last episode.
You did, didn't you? Yeah.
Mind control.
I'm going to actually take it out of the box.
There's no cord there, and they've got it in there.
That is corded.
And look at that. There's no way that they've demonstrated that that's got a cord on it. Look, I'm going to have a word with Moulinex. You can't look at that. You're going to get that wrap ready turkey.
I've got to put this away now.
No, just leave it. You'll do upset me. To write a song for an advert that gets a child singing it and stick with me for 40 years, it
is genius. Proper genius.
Yeah, and the Castrol GTX, which we've got above your head there, I think that's in shot. Here we go. Now we've got manly stuff. Forget the kitchen utensils. You start talking about cars and oil. And
I'm your man.
Is that the one that had the gold oil just dripping
down? It was a genius advert. And that
sexual.
That has. Well, I wouldn't go that far.
No, okay.
I wouldn't go that far. But that has literally stuck with me for so long that now you can actually find that piece of music, and it's a really famous piece of classical music,
is it?
Which I didn't realise at the time.
No.
But now, if you find that on YouTube or whatever, you could hold your phone up to it and find out what it is. And it was a really, they were actually force feeding us classical music, subliminally.
Yeah, that's unfair. I'll still be with 5-star. But the Castrol GTX was, yes, the music was iconic, but the photography of that, I mean, it was just a delicate little dribble of fluid. And it was captivating and just so cleverly filmed. It was just and now to this day, really, although those colours are black, white, red and green, for some reason it just says quality. Just you look at that compared to all the other brands of oil, which are brown or red or whatever, you see that canister, and in my head, because that's cinematic sort of shots, it feels like classy oil.
Classy, I bet you the words you never thought you'd be saying.
I didn't think that sentence would come out of my mouth.
Shall we have another commercial break?
Yes, please.
Here we go. Next one, a random commercial.
Oh.
The red car and the blue car had a race. All the red wants to do is stuff his face.
Just going to pause it for 1 second. What was the brand? What was
Milky Way.
He eats everything he sees, from trucks to prickly trees. But smart old blue, he took the Milky Way. He's looking for a chocolate treat, fluffy and light, 'cause he knows it won't spoil his appetite. Oh no, the bridge has gone. Old Red can't carry on. But smart old blue, he took the Milky Way.
It's sweet. You can eat between meals without ruining your appetite.
I can't say that anymore, can I?
Well, I mean, I learned a lot from that, and now I eat like 5 chocolate bars between meals. My appetite is not ruined. So,
isn't it funny as well that it was the whole red and blue and white colour scheme going on?
It's the slow.
I've only just realised it was to us. Yeah.
Come on, be patriotic. Eat your way to oblivion. This is this here. I'll take this down. Is a classic advert. It carried on from the 70s, I think. But the Ready Breck advert made kids get it. We understood what they were trying to tell us. It was such a simple, we didn't think, it makes you radioactive or any of these things that you'd probably look at now and think when he saw that. But the kid glowing made you think, it warms you up. That's lovely. And he went out in was it a parka with the fluff around it? And he's in sideways rain, walking to school or something.
With the glow around it.
And had a glow around it. It felt fine.
And it's funny as well, if you watch like a sci-fi film that's been made by a millennial who perhaps was not familiar with those adverts, and they put that glow effect around somebody to make them look like radioactive, people of our generation think, no, he's just said Ready Breck.
He said it's Ready Breck. He said he's Ready Breck. That's what he say. If you had your Ready Breck. And the other thing was the Weetabix, of course. I want to say the Weetabix bunch. Somebody will probably correct me. But in their adverts, they go, the Weetabix. Okay. And that was in classrooms. That would be it. When the old kid would say it. If someone would, okay. Thank you, Alderton. And someone would go, okay. Detention. Sorry, it was detention with me, isn't it? But yeah, it's the cereals. We've had cereals, haven't we? So we've got the Ready Breck and we've got Weetabix and we've had what was that?
It was the Brown Flakes.
Brown Flakes, yeah.
Very, very tasty.
Very
tasty.
Crackle and Pop and all that stuff. They were forcing cereals on us so much.
Can I just say as well, by the way, another thing that's only just dawned on me. Brown Flakes are not very tasty, very, very tasty at all, are they?
No, they
just taste of cardboard.
Cardboard. Yeah. Are they? But was it Brown Flakes? Was it a Brown Flake?
Was that Kellogg's cornflakes? See,
it's all crunchy nut.
It's all made into 180s.
It hasn't worked with
180s cereal.
For some reason, I can remember the chocolate adverts, but I can't remember the cereal ones. I don't know why. Kellogg's brought out this thing back in, I think it was probably the 30s or 40s, and their slogan was the cereal's most important. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, which we obviously know is bollocks, but it's a great advertising.
They made that up, didn't they, just to get... And then do you remember as well, once they'd got us all hooked into eating cereals, then there was a little spate of adverts for a while, I don't know if they still do it now, that would say, well, breakfast and cereal's not just for breakfast, why don't you have it as a snack before you go to bed as well?
On the soap.
Yeah, with a bowl of Ready Breck or whatever, yeah.
No thanks, I'm all right. Some porridge or something. Oh, God, we'll leave it. Yeah. Corona. This was, was it, what's her name? Grace. She's physical.
It was
Olivia
Newton-John, yeah.
And these bubbles that were working, the advert where they were all working out in the gym and they were stretching and doing things, Let's Get Physical music with the Corona bottle. This is a Corona bottle. If you haven't seen previous episodes, this is an unopened bottle of Shandy Corona with beer in it. And it's that advert, Let's Get Physical, captivated me as a kid.
Yeah, and they were doing they had like the gym, the exercise worked out. And the thing is, my parents had like a tobacconist and a sweet shop.
Yeah.
So they stocked all that Corona stuff.
Yeah.
And I was in a lucky position of being able to sample all the different.
And then
all
put
the
the lid back
different,
on and
but actually, yeah, no worries in those days about passing infections on or anything.
No.
But no, I can confirm they did taste wonderful.
Yeah. Corona. Why would that name not work anymore? I can't think it. Do they even sell it anymore?
They do. So, but there wasn't a beer as well. There's a beer called Corona. That's the Shandy, but there is a beer. Of course, there's like a modern beer.
Yeah.
And then during that thing that we don't talk about, for some reason, nobody was buying any of that brand of beer, were they?
That was weird. The advertising didn't work.
Not at all.
No. If they had a good jingle, people would have probably bought it. Sod the virus. It's called Corona. Let's get physical.
It was like when they made those slimming chocolate things as well, and they called them AIDS. Do you remember that? Which was obviously not
slimming chocolate is an oxymoron. I'm not really sure what the hell that means, but yeah. We got another clip.
Let's take another commercial break. Here we go. Completely random.
I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. With Scotch's lifetime guarantee. Take what you want both night and day. Then re-record, not fade away. Re-record, not fade away. Re-record, not fade away.
Every recording as good as the first, or we'll give you a new tape. You can watch Scotch forever.
Re-record, not fade away.
Now, the thing is, right, I've never noticed before, as a child, I never noticed it. They had a little pot plant in the corner.
Yeah.
And it got bigger and bigger and bigger every time because of the time going on. And I actually found, when I was clearing out, because I've just moved, I did actually find some a Scotch videotape.
Yeah.
And I would love to see if I can take it back and get my money back. Because that's
still around.
That was I don't know, but that was the promise.
Yeah.
That it would literally last forever.
Yeah.
And you could come back in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years and get a new one for nothing.
That advert, it's fun, isn't it? Because when you look back at adverts on TV, you do remember them differently. And that is obviously stop motion or something. I'm not sure what's going on there. Obviously it wasn't CGI. And it looks very dated. But I remember looking back when I watched it at the time, thinking, wow, that skeleton's alive.
Yeah.
Great. Do you remember, something hit me now, looking at all these Marlboro. We've got the Marlboro advert where you can win a Mustang gear. America's best loved sports car.
Yeah.
I'll put the name of the pub in it. Do you remember that advert about what the smoker will like of the future? And he was sat on a platform and trains were going past. He's just sat there and they ran through this guy's head of how it would look different in 30 years if you were smokers. And he'd have a bigger nose to inhale the smoke. He'd have no ears so that he wouldn't hear the warnings not to smoke. And he'd have smaller eyes so that smoke didn't hit any light. Do you remember this?
I don't remember. I don't remember any of that.
Well, that's because you bloody smoked.
Yeah.
You probably looked away. Went, no, la, 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 la. They were telling you. You look a little bit like him, though.
Isn't it just weird, though, to think that the cigarette advertising was everywhere? Before I forget, because my memory's like a sieve these days as well. So we were watching the Scotch videotape. Do you remember the follow-up to that? Do you remember they did something similar but different?
Was it don't re-record because it fades away?
It was not. But listen, this is like for a big brand, and I just discovered this the other day. This is weird as you know what. Here we go. Watch and listen carefully.
Okay.
Psst. Got any dirty videos? Bet you haven't seen this. The Scotch Video Head Cleaner. It cleans up dirty pictures caused by dirty video recording heads. Oh, glory. Look at that bone structure.
Head cleaning? What the hell?
How pervy is that? How pervy.
I mean, they didn't even think about what head cleaning meant, obviously, when you're talking about dirty videos and looking at a woman with their boobs out. That's incredible.
That was
I never saw that.
A big brand. A big brand.
Because that was a classic, wasn't it? Johnny Watches.
Yeah.
But that was, I mean, it's clever because it obviously attracts adults. But like we've just said earlier, all adverts were everybody. So that wouldn't have got, well, maybe that did go on after Watershed. Maybe it was a Channel 4 10 p.m. advert.
Could be.
It might have been. I never saw it, so possibly it was between Cell Block H and...
yeah. Possibly. Because I got to stay up later because I'm a tiny little...
You are a little bit older than me. So, you were awake before I was born. What?
I'm not sure. Sadly, though, although it doesn't make sense, it's true.
I mean, there's a lot of this. People say a lot of my stuff is cryptic, and to be honest, it is cryptic before I even know it.
But it's just that was something that a brand like Scotch videotape that would not have got past the focus groups and all kinds of weird stuff that goes on now, would it?
No, I don't. So, I mean, the adverts were so clean. The adverts were so simple and jolly and bubbly, and the Fairy Liquid one where, what's her name? She's a lovely lady. It's gone. But she would walk.
There's an ongoing story here. I'll remember anybody's name.
Well, everybody feels so happy because they're middle-aged watching this going, you know what? James and Andy can't remember anything, so we're fine. What's the problem? Do you remember the 80s? No, I don't. I'll tell you what, I do remember the 80s, but I don't remember where Pop are. So that's...
I'm still trying to remember the name of that DJ from earlier as well. I still can't.
We're going to do an extra bit at the end of this, purely because we've got to stop it and Google all the... Forgotten. No. Her name will come to me, and somebody's shouting at me now, but she would look in the look in the camera and go, it's soft, so soft, Fairy Liquid, and she'd do this sensual sort of thing, and then she'd cup up right. She wouldn't, but she'd stroke her hands under her thing, and then she'd, so hands that do this, and it's soft as like mild green fairy liquid.
Mild green fairy liquid.
I mean, obviously it had a bit of green on it, but the rest of the bottle was red and white, of course.
But
obviously the printing error. Should have been blue.
I don't know whether it's a subliminal thing, but I will not use any other washing up liquid other than fairy. And I because I've mentally got it in my head that none of the other brands are as good as fairy.
Tell me another washing brand then.
Sainsbury's.
Yeah, well, there's lots of own brands. But, you do Kellogg's, and then you'll... Oh, no, what other colour? But, that is the only one. Fairy Liquid, in my head, is the only washing liquid. And every time I buy it... I mean, have you seen it recently? That little baby is now a punk rocker on a motorbike.
Oh, it's got the little thing, the little
that's
thing.
indicative of kids today, mate. In the 80s, simple little children helping you wash up, wanting a little borrower to build a rocket, make a rocket out of the washing up liquid. Now, they're on motorbikes trashing the place. It's the world we live in.
It's a sad indictment of our time. So we have another commercial break.
Go on.
Here we go.
Life in the Bavarian forest was boring. The big event was me and Ronnie Rabbit watching a leaf fall down.
A leaf! I saw a leaf!
Hey. Then one day I discovered Hofmeister Lager with a picture of my grandpa on it. It had a cool cut on the back of the throat that was so good I decided to leave the forest. And so I found companionship. Trouble 20 ball to finish you to chalk. I found the left-hand screw to kiss onto the pink. I found more companionship, but most of all, I found Hofmeister on draft. The moral is, if you want poetry, stand and stare. But if you want great lager, follow the bear. Hey, Hofmeister, a great lager, follow the bear.
I don't think that was a real bear.
That was one of those TV adverts, though, that you would be doing at school the next day. Hey, follow the bear.
Cruising through.
Yeah.
Do a trick shot like that. Yeah. I mean, these glass, you don't get ashtrays anymore because, like we said in the last episode, you might make your dad one in DT. But there's no ashtrays in pub.
No, and this, to be fair, would have made an excellent weapon.
That would have been used outside any pub.
Heavy.
Yeah. But yeah, follow the bear. I mean, you wouldn't get, there's nothing, you wouldn't have a man dressed up in a now to advertise anything. I mean, it could have been a woman in there, obviously. But just everything about it was just trying to be, with the hat, it was a bit of madness in there, wasn't there?
It was a bit of, and the music was Don't Push Me Because I'm Close to the Edge. It was like a little cool kind of rap thing from from the 80s going on as well.
Yeah, it was cool men in gangs drinking lots, being cool.
Dressed as beer. Just as bears.
Dressed as bears. Dressed as beer. Dressed as bears. Dressed as the Fonz or whatever he was meant to be. Just a cool beer drink. But what? I don't think they have cool beer drinks now. I don't know.
Certainly not Corona.
No Corona. No Stoll. Carling Black Label. I mean, brilliant.
Yeah.
Carling Black Label.
Perhaps Harp as well. Do you remember Harp was a thing? And Double Diamond?
What was the Harp?
Harp was a lager. Don't ask me how it went, how I think it went.
See? That's right. That's why Follow the Bear.
Follow the Bear, yeah.
It all works because they got little clever jingles. And Harp, don't know. Then Guinness, I'm sure they had Guinness.
Guinness had but they had the spectacular adverts, didn't they? For Guinness. Guinness made the big production things of horses galloping through the waves and everything, but it was like a very cinematic. Whereas the Hofmeister thing was just a guy dressed up in a bear suit.
That's it.
The whole Guinness thing was like proper cinematography, and it was very, very clever.
Same horse that they used for Lloyd's Bank.
Oh, well, there is only one black horse.
Yeah, that's it. And so they'd say cut, and then they'd bring in a cash machine, and the horse would carry on.
And then after that, it would go and film Black Beauty, an episode of Black Beauty. We'll come back.
Yeah. Or they might have had to have sprayed a white horse every now and again, or a brown horse black, because he had to have a tea break. PG Tips, of course, in the PG Tips advert with those little men with the let's flare the flood out and perforations. Do you remember them? With the bouncing around. The thing is, all these brands would give away so many free gifts. PG Tips were always giving away mugs and tea sets and teapots, and, it was great. You get on the advert, say, buy it now and get a free tea gauzy or something. No offence to any Northerners.
I thought it came very close to a hate crime. The way you said
I'm half Northern. Come on. And my wife's Northern, so I think I'm 3/4.
Yeah, away with it. Okay.
By osmosis, through the perforations. Up Northern. But again, all white and blue, and all the characters were all white, and all had the flat caps on.
Did you say PG Tips or Tetley?
PG.
It was Tetley.
Oh, God. Tetley. Let's flavour find out. PG
Tips was the little monkeys. You get it. See, like much like the breakfast cereals have all merged into one 80s breakfast cereal. Now all the 80s teas had all moved to service. Tetley was from up north. PG Tips were the monkeys, which for a long time, I'll play it.
That's it.
That was the one, wasn't it? Do you know the piano's on my foot? They were, just to set the scene.
That's great.
They're moving a piano up some stairs.
Yeah.
This is the monkeys carried it.
Yeah.
As they do.
Of course.
And of course, one says to the other one, do you know the piano's on my foot? And the other one says, I'll play it.
And they've got it up the stairs. Is that half up the stairs?
Up the stairs, yeah.
Yeah, wow. God, dear. Performing monkeys. Yes.
Real monkeys they actually used for a long time, real monkeys dressed in little humanoid clothes.
Yes. Not like that bear, which wasn't a real bear.
No, it was a real person.
Did you spot that? You spotted that?
Came to me
clever.
Yeah,
but production values and costs of that must have been immense. But yeah, monkeys, if you couldn't, using animals for adverts were quite commonplace, weren't they?
Yeah.
A caramel, although she wasn't real, the caramel bunny.
Bunny rabbit. Yeah. We all wanted to, didn't we? Yeah.
Funnily enough, most of our houses have got rabbits in now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Wide. Yeah. Side drawer. So, but yes, what are you doing rushing around and all this? You would lay there.
Just being lovely chocolate.
Lovely.
Yeah.
But then, squirrel or something flying around. Was it a squirrel?
Some quick moving
caramel. But I love caramel.
Yeah.
They still do them. One of the few chocolate bars back in the day that still tastes very, very similar. Although Crunchies are very good. And thank Crunchy, its Friday adverts were always massive.
Crunchy, those bits always got stuck in your teeth forever, didn't they?
Great. You find a bit in seventh period, just drop out of your back tooth, think, relieving the stress of geography. That's lovely. A little bit crunchy bit. Thank Crunchy, it's Friday and it was Tuesday. Very depressing. But yeah.
Good. Shall we take another commercial break?
Yeah, go on then.
Here we go. Another one at random.
Stale smells up here often come from down there in your carpet. Smells from your dog and tobacco too. Well, Shake and Vac from Glade is here. It's all you have to do. Do the shake and back and put the freshness back. Do the shake and back and put the freshness back. When your carpet smells fresh, your room does too. Every time you vacuum, remember what to do. Do the shake and back and put the freshness back. Shake and back in 3 fragrances.
Brilliant.
We actually had that exact Hoover. That
Did you?
exact with the light on it as well.
Was it a Hoover?
It was a Hoover. It was a Hoover with a soft bag, but it had the light. It had like a headlight on the Hoover.
Yeah.
Why do you need a light?
Because there were so many power cuts that you needed to... Oh, no,
It's not going to work. It wasn't called
A little candle in there. Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Why did it need? Why did you need a Hoover?
I mean, our light does have a Hoover in it. Our Hoover does have a light. Oh, it'd be ridiculous. Our Hoover does have a light at the front as well, underneath the brushes, and it does light up the way. But maybe the lighting was so dim
in those
back in
days.
the 80s, you'd have a weird orange lampshade in the corner and some shag pile lampshades on the
And all the furnishings would be dark brown as well. Like a wallpaper would be deep orange. So maybe none of us could see it. And it would all be covered with that patina of nicotine as well.
Well,
in my house.
Yeah. No, ours was just crack. But she had, if you notice, a wonderful wrist action there. That is the best way to do a shake and vac. If you're going to do that, just get it going all over the place. If you're going to pick a woman to do it, pick her.
Perfect.
It was great. A little flash of thigh. She spun round there. Did you see that?
She was mumsy, but you still would.
I was just very available, and I think I bought the shake and vac off the back of that, and I was 9. But yeah, they still sell that, and it's still in that sort of container, which I think is brilliant.
But the thing is, as well, if you think about it, it's not actually going to make your carpet any cleaner. You're actually putting more crap on your carpet. So it's actually, as you put it down, surely it's making your carpet more dirty.
Well, I mean,
it's just an air freshener.
I think you've got to be certain that the police aren't going to knock on your door with all that scattered around your lounge. It looks like some sort of cocaine den. It's gone miserably wrong when you've been trying to package it. But people say, oh, well, that's a bit misogynistic, that advert. But, they did do sex sold in the 80s. We talk about Nick Cayman getting his clothes off on Drett, That made it the Diet Coke guy. That was late 80s, early 90s, but it was always about that, Old Spice. You had
all over, yeah.
And the milk tray man. It was all about that sexual chemistry, getting excited and drawing people in, and it might be a story, so the milk tray guy broke in.
That was fine.
Leave chocolate off. But, in the next time, he came back and he picked up that and put it in the recycling. And then he didn't. But they should do that one now. Do you think you should bring the milk tray back and come back and go, you can't recycle that actually because that little tray liner there is not recycled. You can separate it out and put that in your normal general waste and that in. Anyway.
There might be a lot of packaging going on because there was obviously the foil around it.
Wrappers.
Then you had you had the plastic tray inside.
Yeah.
But there was a layer of corrugated plastic as well.
I don't know what that was.
Cushioned. Yeah. Just to protect them, I think.
Was it?
Let's do another quick commercial break here. Just who knows which one this is going to be.
Way down deep in the middle of the Congo, a hippo took an apricot, a guava, and a mango. He stuck it with the others and he danced a dingy tango. The rhino said, I know, we'll call it Umbango. Umbango, you drink it in the Congo. Python picked the passion fruit, the mama said the mandarin. The parrot painted bongos got the hunk of voodoo landed in. So when it comes to sun and fun and goodness in the jungle, they all prefer the sunny, funny one they call Umbango.
Libby's Umbango. High juice drinks, free from artificial ingredients.
Yeah, I mean, that advert, the lyrics are so fast that with the amount of times you heard it and learnt it, you discovered fruits that you'd never heard or seen of before. I mean, the guava and the passion fruit and the mandarin. I mean,
a bit like that one for lip smacking, thirst quenching, ace tasting, motivating, ever giving, cool fizzing, something, Pepsi. I've never heard of. Have you never? Well, maybe I'm just a tiny little bit older than you.
Make that up yourself, then.
The real one. Lip smacking, thirst quenching, ace tasting, motivating, cool, buzzing, fast living, something. Ever giving cool fishing Pepsi?
I'm going to have to look.
You're going to find. You're probably from 1970.
1946. There we go. I had these a little bit.
This is the mission to find that. Because imagine if I just dreamt that. Imagine if I've made that up.
Wow. Very good, ad-lib. Pepsi, it's a taste of a new generation. That was all I heard. And
that was Michael Jackson doing was it the Pepsi or was
he did
Coke?
do the advert when it caught fire. It wasn't funny.
No.
But he, they used to get massive stars in, didn't they? Pepsi used to have a fight with the Cola Wars going on. And then Coca-Cola, the classic Robin Beck track like that. Hey, but yeah, Umbongo, which is available, is still available, but you can't get it in general stores where you have to search it online and stuff. And they're trying to bring it back. They changed the design of the packaging, and now they brought it back to the original packaging for obvious reasons, because that's the classic. But yeah, the fruit in that, you just couldn't. I mean, I've never bloody heard of the fruit that they were talking about.
Well, I wonder if it was real fruit in those days, or whether it was fruit type substitute flavouring.
Fruit flavoured. I think it probably had to be real fruit, maybe. It was a fruit juice.
Yeah.
But you'd never go in a store and find a mandarin and not a marmosette. Lend into that. No, not the marmosette, the mandarin and the guava and the passion. I mean,
I was just trying to work out where you got marmosette from.
The marmosette, okay. Marmosette with the mandarin and the hippo with the guava and something.
Yeah.
But you'd never have gone into a bloody Tesco or a Fine Fair or a B-Jams and pick up a mandarin.
No, all you would have would be orange, apple, and maybe pear.
A banana?
Yeah, a banana.
Get a banana and a pear and the odd pineapple. What else would you have? Tangerine, maybe.
Tangerine with the most, unlike
Satsuma. You had a Satsuma.
What was the difference? Because somebody, even now, I don't know the difference between a Satsuma and a tangerine.
Well, a Satsuma's from Satsuma and a tangerine's from Tangerine. I don't know. But they're orange and they're circular, and one tastes all right and one tastes shocking.
Well, they're just little different kinds of oranges, aren't they?
Right. You can't get anything better out of it.
It's a little mini.
So what you want, Pepsi jingles, and he knows that they're all different types of oranges. Tune in next week's quiz. What's a tangerine? Super. Okay, good. Yeah.
Commercial break time.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This is what it's about.
Hello. Look, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm having a dinner party and I ran out of coffee.
Come in. A likely stuff.
Thank you. I could get used to it.
It's a very sophisticated coffee.
They have very sophisticated taste.
Do they?
Yes. Well, I must be getting back.
Now, golden roasted, richer, smoother, Nescafe Gold Blend.
Have you met your new neighbour yet? Oh, I've popped in for coffee.
Yeah.
There's a euphemism.
Fully dressed.
If ever there was one.
Not in a dressing gown with no makeup on and her hair all outside. She's got the gold earrings in and a full lippy and everything.
But as a nation, we were gripped to see, and it was not like a thing that would change weekly or monthly.
No.
You would have to wait maybe 6 months or a change of the season to get the next instalment of that.
Yeah. I mean, the chemistry in that, and I know we've touched on it before, but it was palpable, and middle-aged or older parents would, that would attract them to the brand.
Yeah.
And it was sumptuous. It was all dark colours, wasn't it? It was all really moody, and it was
very sophisticated, wasn't it? At the end of the day, it's just powdered coffee, but it was like it was saying, this is if you're going to have coffee, this is the stuff that you're going to have.
I think it was saying, if you're going to be unfaithful, use that as an excuse. Because you could say, love, we're at coffee. And she'd be like, oh, I'll go next door to the new glow guy. Well, all right, love. She'd put her earrings in. And some coffee. And be like, I haven't got any coffee. I've got some Hofmeister. Follow the bear. What? Can you imagine that? You can do that these days.
Story of your life.
You go knock next door. I ran out of coffee. Have you got any? Here you go. Come on in. I will not be.
The thing is, though, you knock on the door next door to somebody who's new. Nobody answers their doors to strangers anyway. You get the bloody
ring doorbell.
You get the ring doorbell. Hello.
Sorry, can you just leave it outside? No, I want coffee. What? It wouldn't work. We
get very bad at actually having human interactions with other humans now.
Yeah.
Because my kids are the same. They would rather, rather than get on the phone to somebody or something, they would rather chat online.
Yeah.
Because there's no human interaction involved. And for actually going into a shop and buying something, it's like, oh my God, order it. Or not.
Well, I have to text my sons when they're sat next to me. But, hey, do you want to? We're going out for tea. Do you want to come? Hello. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's nice. It's nice. Like, that advert does remind me of those times where there was more community spirit. There was more stuff. I mean, I know some streets are lovely, and I'm sure some people watching this are wealthy. If we live in lovely little villages somewhere, and go, isn't it? We're all together in the community, and we all meet once a week about the neighbourhood watch and all that shizzle. But most streets now
are not like that.
They're all they're just protected, armoured cameras, and we wouldn't have dreamt of it. We wouldn't have dreamt that was standard. That the houses at every street have got cameras on the doorbell, so you don't have to go to the door. I mean, it's just getting deliveries. The thing is, you get your shopping deliveries that are influenced by the adverts.
Yes,
they come to the door. You talk to them on the doorbell. Leave it behind the car, mate, and off they go. And you don't have to see anybody.
The next stage, surely, though, because we're getting so lazy now, the next stage is they're going to order your, you order your takeaway, and you Just Eat or your Uber comes round and that. We're going to be so lazy now. We're going to say, "Can you eat it for us, please?"
Yeah.
We can't actually be bothered to eat it.
Actually, that's reminded me that the adverts for Just Eat and Deliveroo are probably the most original adverts these days. On TV, they're always like, somebody say just
eat,
that's
proper jingles,
proper jingles. Yeah. So that's funny that you should mention that, because I think that's probably the most consistently memorable adverts out there at the moment.
Let's see if we can find one from back in the day that was just as memorable. Who knows what it will be?
Mum's out. I'm cooking. Freeze.
Everything all right?
Incredible.
Absolutely fantastic. Saturday's off from now on, then.
It's good to know that kids haven't changed, isn't it?
That was the lovely Linda Bellingham, wasn't it?
Here we go.
And all because the lady loves milk tray.
Not only has he come in and broken into your yacht this time round, he's dripped all over the floor as well.
No, it's dangerous. You should have had one of those yellow little things saying "warning, wet floor." Not a knife between the teeth. You should have had a wet floor.
Dangerous.
I wouldn't do that to give chocolate away. I'd do it to get chocolate, but I wouldn't do it to give it away. And if, it. Again, I mean, in that one he had clothes on. I think sometimes he didn't, but he's got a right in the right mess there. That's a laundrette situation.
Definitely.
Straight away.
But the whole thing of that was that he was coming into somebody's abode, uninvited, which is surely not a good thing.
No, it's not. And did we notice that the lady nips next door, all dolled up to borrow coffee? He has to swim across an ocean full of sharks to leave chocolate. Don't even see the woman. No, they're having it for him. He's giving gifts away. The woman is going next door and nicking his coffee. I mean, this is just so unfair and unbalanced, and I want a retrial. No, but it's. I would like to see an advert where a woman swims through sharks and gives the guy a can of lager.
Yeah.
Or something. It's not going to happen.
Just going back to the OXO one as well with Linda Bellingham.
Yeah.
As well. That was a thing where it was a real oddity for the man to be cooking for the family.
Yeah.
Because mum always did the cooking. And on this occasion, she wasn't there to do the cooking. The kids thought the kids have come in to find him cooking. They thought, this is going to be awful.
Yeah.
And they tried to sneak out on that. But it turns out that men can cook as well.
That's right. What was that advert for?
That was OXO. OXO.
Yes, yeah. There was a Bisto one.
Bisto, yeah.
Bisto. And that was animated as well with the two kids, wasn't it? in their red hat.
No, that was Oxo. That was because you make your gravy and all that. Oxo, yeah.
But the Bisto one was with the kids, with the animated little kids. And
they were from up north, weren't they? Those ones as well. Up north,
probably because
with
it
the black
was
gaps and that. Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but it is. Yeah. So, but the kids in there exactly the same as these days. You know, as much as we try and change the basics and say that men can do things, women can do things, everything else, we all wrote a type. And if you have an advert these days, there would still be kids grumpy that dad's cooking something. I know they try and push it in and go, oh, what sort of nuggets do you want, kids? And then they get out them, I don't know, McCain nugget. Yeah. They go, oh, this is great, thanks, Dad. But it's the rolling of the eyes and, oh God, I have to cook more now. She's seen me doing it well. That would not happen. Right? Men would just not show. The women were doing the shake and vac and the fairy liquid. And the, oh, can I borrow some coffee? Don't look at me breast. And the men were swimming through shark-infested water and following the bear. And so it was all very sort of left and right. It was
definitely one, men would do this, women would do that. And, that's perhaps just there for that once the twain did meet.
Yeah, and I think that was probably the start of it. There were some times where they did start to sort of blend roles and they used the humour in it to try and sort of sell the message that, anyone can do it. Anyone can put the dishwasher in the thing, or they can put something in the microwave, and it was trying to get a rise out of men or women to say you can do this too. Mind you, I don't think there were any adverts where women were fixing cars or anything. As Castrol GTX, even a bird can do it. That sort of 80s. That is sort of the 80s lingo. But there was always a bit of an elbow into the men about cleaning or being lazy or not cooking.
I think you've just come up with a great strap line for a product though, isn't it? For guys like even a bird can do it.
Well, they had the Yorkie stuff. Again, late 80s, isn't it? Early 90s maybe, where it was not for girls, wasn't it? Yorkies. Yeah. And even the military, the Navy had not for civvies, Yorkie bars made as well. So it was all angled at that, but that was banned, obviously. I think... have we got a sense of humour to do things like that these days? You couldn't. I don't mean not for birds, but to have a little dig at someone to say you can do it a bit better. I can't think of current adverts that do that. But that might work. You never know.
Could do. Could be onto an
idea.
James, I think we're going to have to say, we've reached the end of episode 10.
There's too much to talk about. Advert.
Well, do you know what? We can carry on talking.
Shall we?
We'll do that in a second.
Okay.
So we'll say if you've just discovered us for the first time, there is another level of podcast.
Not the band. They're not coming in. Don't get excited.
So you can watch a little bit more. We're going to stop this one here because we've been going on for nearly an hour.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Nearly an hour.
Too long.
So we'll stop this one here. But if you want to continue and see, I've got some little Christmas adverts up in the sleeve as well. We'll do some of those in just a second.
Can I just say, if you've been jogging and listening to this, I can only apologise. You've gone on for an extra half a mile. Because we've blabbed on for an extra 7 or 8 minutes more than usual. But adverts from the 80s, hopefully people will let us off.
I hope so. Next time round, we're getting very dangerously close to the C word, aren't we? Very dangerously close to the C word.
Listen to this, we'll be at the end of November.
Yeah.
To be honest, someone will watch it next year. We'll probably be at Easter watching this. But Christmas, we're going to do loads of episodes on Christmas because Christmas in the 80s, iconic.
A little preview of some of that stuff coming up in our special extra Brucey bonus. But for now, if we're leaving you here, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Share this with one other person who's like you.
Do.
And we'll say see you next Tuesday. Well done to this week's winner of the Mystery Sound of the 80s, Jane White. We'll have another one for you to guess in the next edition. If you've enjoyed it, do share it with just one person and maybe leave us a review on the website too. Right now, there's another 20 minutes of bonus content coming up for our VIP subscribers, plus extra episodes, random prize draws for tickets to James's comedy nights, and exclusive Bring Back the 80s merch, all for less than the price of a cup of fancy coffee. Help us make this podcast better every episode by becoming a VIP subscriber at bringbacktheatiespodcast.com.
It's your Brucey bonus. Come on down.
And then we carry on.
Let's hope all of this is work. Let's hope all of our new mics and our new headphones.